were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed my life.
My life was nearly wrecked by that thing. Everything we previously believed to be true about Snoop Dogg is altered by a whisper at the beginning. He was a reformed legend who became a national treasure, a laid-back presence on family television, and the smiling face of pop culture for many years. However, what if that serene voice conceals a much worse reality? What if Snoop and Sean Diddy Combs have a deal based on publicity, leverage, and subliminal dread rather than merely friendship or business? Gene Deal, a former bad boy bodyguard, is now asserting that Snoop's allegiance to Diddy stems from the fear of disaster, private film, and secret meetings that Diddy supposedly possesses, not from trust.
And now he's paying for it. So all these cats, I guess y'all get y'all visitation rights. Some of y'all can get y'all conjugal visits right with him. I don't give a
Few people ever got as close to Diddy's private life as Gene Deal. So when he speaks, the industry pays attention. Deal was his shadow for years. He kept his secrets, ate with him, and protected him. At one point, he declared that he would have sacrificed his life for Diddy. However, when he discovered that Diddy, the person he was protecting, had allegedly given orders for individuals to target him, that loyalty changed. Deal didn't mince words when it was announced in early 2025 that Diddy had received a sentence of 50 months in federal prison. He told The Art of Dialogue, "I don't give a damn about his sadness." The industry was sliced by that one line. It was more than resentment. It served as a warning that fear, not friendship, was the foundation of Diddy's empire. Deal added that there were names we never would have thought to hear behind that empire, including Snoop. Homeland Security had already conducted raids on Diddy's houses in Miami and Los Angeles by the time the judge announced his sentencing, which included 5 years of supervision, 50 months in prison, and a $500,000 fine. Investigators said they discovered digital records, pictures, and gadgets inside that included what one agent called proof of control. It was the exact type of leverage that Gene Deal had been warning about for years. Diddy created a network of leverage in addition to a record label. Because the alternative was worse, others in his immediate vicinity complied with his request. In that context, the Snoop rumors ceased to seem like idle rumors and instead appeared to be a component of a larger system.
It was on bad terms because we were still gang affiliated and we were using gang terminology on the intro.
This type of narrative doesn't include Snoop's name. He is the voice cracking jokes at the Olympics in Paris, the man in Martha Stewart advertisements, and the coach on The Voice who promises integrity and positive energy. He is America's amiable uncle rather than the influential figure ensnared in Bad Boy Records' shadow. Deal's claims that Diddy and Snoop had more in common than just connections in the music business sliced right through that image. He said that Snoop and Diddy had financial ties that extended beyond their commercial dealings. Diddy could now use that past to force Snoop to conform, since it was so profound. Deal alluded to the fact that Diddy has secret recordings of several well-known people, and that Snoop's abrupt alignment with Diddy's aims was more survival than chance.
It was amazing. And then him choosing sides at the end was a demise.
If we follow the chronology, we may observe the pattern developing. Suge Knight, speaking from his cell in a San Diego facility just months before Diddy's conviction, accused Snoop of surreptitiously attempting to assist Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the man charged in the 1996 Shakur case. Knight claimed that because Davis talked too much, Snoop wanted to dump him. At first it sounded paranoid, but as we discover more about Diddy's fear of being discovered, those words start to seem more purposeful. In his testimony, Kef D had previously tied Diddy to financial offers related to the same event. It wasn't merely devotion to an old friend if Snoop actually intervened to diffuse the conflict. It served to safeguard a common secret. Snoop's changeover over the last 10 years appears to be more of a plan than a reinvention. In the 1990s, he was a man facing serious accusations. Today, he is the cleanest brand in entertainment. From food delivery to sports sponsorships, every business transaction served to conceal his history behind a wall of corporate glitz. However, industry experts saw a peculiarity. Snoop said nothing, even as Diddy's world started to fall apart due to legal pressure. No distance, no public remarks, and not even the slightest suggestion of criticism. That was unusual for a man who talks openly about almost everything. According to transaction insiders, quiet wasn't a coincidence. It had a contract. The kind of quiet that comes from someone aware that they are being watched.
Things she observed with Cassie. But, I don't think it's the same as blowing up Kid Cudi's car if the jury believes that Diddy did it. I don't think it's the same as
Diddy's decline in popularity, however, was not only a personal one. His conviction was presented by the prosecution as a component of a wider network that maintained covert recording systems, transported individuals over state lines for private meetings, and used those materials to maintain order among members. It was referred to as control through evidence by former partners. According to one of them, it was leverage rather than love. For years, Gene Deal has been outlining precisely such a method. Snoop isn't an outsider to it, if he's correct. He is among its most well-known offerings.
Suggesting that Mr. Combs and his involvement in the 2018 of his former partner Kim Porter, whose passing was officially attributed to natural causes by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office.
The story is made much more unsettling by the way Snoop's public relationships changed following Diddy's incarceration. Rather than pulling away, he seemed to step up, showing up at gatherings that Diddy's group had previously supported and allegedly sending encouraging messages to colleagues. Industry observers began to wonder why a man with nothing to conceal would jeopardize his clean image to be associated with a man who was the subject of a federal inquiry. Then there were rumors that Diddy's solicitors had recordings of a number of A-list celebrities that were too damning to ever be shown. Snoop's was one name that kept coming up. Diddy keeps everything because that's how he survives, asserts Gene Deal, even though no one has seen the video and no network has verified its existence. Snoop created a public persona as a mentor and family man, but Suge Knight, who continued to speak out from prison, continued to undermine it. In several interviews, he charged that Snoop was partially to blame for Shakur's demise and asserted that Snoop's present relationship with Diddy was evidence of a more sinister plan. Knight mentioned seasoned professionals in the field like Clive Davis and Russell Simmons, saying that they all took inspiration from the same playbook. Both men are also held accountable for turning Diddy into the monster he said he was. Through a tapestry of ancient secrets, power, and the unwritten code of allegiance through fear, each remark added a new thread. It's no accident that Diddy's ex-partner started to fade from the public eye as these charges emerged. Silently, executives resigned. Some of Diddy's closest associates stopped returning calls, and artists removed images from social media. Snoop, however, continued to be visible, grinning during TV commercials and championship appearances as though nothing had changed. Some people view that as a sign of confidence. It appears to others that someone is overcompensating.
I feel good way before the sentencing, and I'm gonna feel good way after it. You know what I'm saying? That the sentencing don't have anything to do with how I feel. It just goes me to show, that tells me when God puts you in a position and puts you in a place to be involved in something, his word ain't never wrong.
Time is of the essence. Days after the sentencing, when every feed was flooded with pictures of Diddy and tears, Gene Deal spoke. Deal declared, "God is good," asserting that the events were divine retribution for the years of deceit and manipulation he had observed. For him, it was unfair to watch Diddy collapse. It was evidence that the framework he established was failing, and Snoop's empire of sponsorships and family television deals might follow if he were unwittingly a member of that system. There is no concern that Snoop will lose his following. It seems that more than just reputations could be destroyed by the evidence that Diddy is supposedly in possession of.
I have never seen, until Kendrick now, I'd never seen anybody from where I'm from, the area I'm from, the place I'm from, do what Snoop did.
The speed at which narratives change in this sector is remarkable. Snoop was the face of the NBC Olympics a year ago, entertaining viewers and cracking jokes with commentators. His name is now associated with FBI raids, classified tapes, and long-standing grudges that will not go away. Insiders claim that the same individual who was commended for coaching young football is now accused of playing defense for a mogul who faces charges that have the potential to change the course of hip-hop history. With every interview, Gene Deal puts more pressure on people to speak up. Each time Deal talks, more names begin to shake loose, giving us a hint that something bigger is about to happen. Nobody close to Snoop has responded to the allegations as of yet. His social media pages are constantly overflowing with brand tie-ins, and his publicist keeps scheduling upbeat bits. Behind that well-maintained composure, however, there are rumors circulating that Diddy's archives, the data that Homeland Security allegedly confiscated, may include recordings of meetings, talks, and interactions dating back several decades. If Snoop is involved in even a small portion of it, it would explain his caution, his unexpected relationships, and the reason he is allegedly doing favors for Diddy's remaining business circle in spite of the criticism from the public. The existence of the proof is not the question. It concerns how long it can remain concealed and the specific tasks Snoop is still expected to perform to maintain its secrecy.
Well, he just laid on the floor for like 30 minutes. His mama came in there and cleaned me up.
Every glitzy empire has a number behind it. That sum in this case is $1 million. Investigators claim that Diddy once made a bid for Shakur and Suge Knight's heads. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis is the claimant, and court records have revealed his 2009 taped chat with law authorities. He said that Diddy was prepared to spend millions to put an end to his conflict with Death Row Records. Snoop was classified as being torn between two worlds at the moment. One was driven by Diddy's ambition, the other by the savagery of the night. We can't help but wonder if the loyalty we see now has its origins in that old battle. Gene Deal characterizes this loyalty as fear masquerading as friendship. For an undisclosed sum, Snoop purchased what remained of Death Row 20 years later. It appeared to be a victory lap on paper. The pupil is coming back to take control of the classroom. However, Suge Knight, who is still incarcerated, did not witness victory. He perceived a betrayal. He said, "Show me the paperwork," during one of his phone interviews. "Show me your possessions." Knight called the label a failure and asserted that Snoop didn't really buy it. A phony brand that has been rebranded for the general audience. It wasn't Snoop's empire, in his opinion. It was an additional control mechanism used by Diddy. Additionally, the pattern becomes more distinct when timelines are compared. Federal raids caused Diddy's legal empire to collapse, and Snoop stepped forward to resurrect a label that had been at odds with him. It appears to be intentional. It appears to be staged. Meanwhile, the number of lawsuits continued to rise. A civil action that accused Snoop of assault related to a backstage encounter 10 years prior reappeared in 2023. Although the discreetly filed claim never made headlines, sources allege Diddy's team was aware of it before it was brought to court. Because those who have the most influence are frequently the ones who find out first, that detail is important. This type of entanglement is what Gene Deal meant when he stated Snoop must handle all the grunt work, the unseen favors, the quiet and the late-night phone calls that keep secrets hidden, not crimes in the alley. What if this has nothing to do with friendship or favors? What if Diddy created something darker, a psychological quagmire where reliance develops from loyalty? Gene Deal explained how Diddy developed into a monster despite not being one from birth, shaped by mentors who employed deceit as a tactic in business. The idea is not new to the entertainment industry. Make others feel that you are essential to their success, and they won't ever risk failing you. However, the trap might have been deeper in Diddy's universe. Former insiders claim that he did more than just hold contracts. He had audio, video, and proof of events too private to endure in the open. And those who attempted to leave were subtly reminded that the recordings were there.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at, he has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on right now.
Snoop's charisma, his business innovations, and his journey from criminal to household name, what if those were strategic compliance decisions rather than original ones? It's possible that every change, every TV appearance, and every product endorsement was made for protection rather than the fans. As Diddy's empire began to crumble due to raids and indictments, Snoop's reputation became more palatable, secure, and accessible. He remained useful as a result. To preserve the legacy while Diddy was incarcerated, someone had to take up the public torch if he was going down. We can understand why Deal refers to it as dirty work. The issue is not breaching the law. It has to do with preserving illusions.
He had cameras all over the place, unbeknownst to them. And now he has all that footage, supposedly. This is what I'm told. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if, you're a huge iconic, TV star or movie star, and you're in some...
Then there are the recordings. Homeland Security attested to taking several technological gadgets from Diddy's residences. Some of them included videos that investigators deemed sensitive. What's on them has not been seen by anyone outside the case. However, people with knowledge of the raids maintain that they cover broader ground than Diddy's personal life. They interact with well-known people, executives, and artists. Some ramifications go well beyond blackmail if even a small amount of the content involves Snoop. It would imply that for years, the entertainment industry as a whole, including tours, partnerships, and even reconciliations, has been run under covert pressure. On camera, everyone smiles, but nobody actually says anything.
Without getting out of here somewhere and stashing $2 billion or whatever, I think he has that kind of power, meaning Sean himself. But remember, it goes a lot deeper.
Rumor has it that the recordings are labeled, preserved, and name separated, much like insurance files. Every name denotes obedience, and every file represents leverage. If that is the case, Snoop's immunity from scandal isn't due to good fortune, it's alignment. He does the part that has been given to him. He remains desirable, valuable, and sufficiently clean to deflect attention from the mayhem that is developing underneath. Because vulnerability is not the greatest hazard in a structure based on control. Obsolescence is the cause. You become part of the evidence as soon as you quit working for the system. We cannot ignore Suge Knight's caution from early 2025, which was expressed in a phone interview that briefly went viral before disappearing from the majority of feeds. He claimed that nobody was prepared to openly support or denounce Diddy, not even Snoop, Jay-Z, or Dr. Dre. That silence initially appeared to be self-defense, a straightforward reluctance to become involved in another man's scandal. However, it felt more synchronized the longer it lasted. Collective silence speaks louder than any press release in a field where every word is prepared and every headline is marketed. It implies that everyone is aware of how precarious the equilibrium is. This is hardly the first instance of hip-hop's elite grouping together to avoid conflict. Overnight, we have witnessed artists disappear from collaborations. Longtime associates pretend old images never existed, and executives erase album credits. There is a reason behind such disappearances. These are defensive strategies. Nobody stepping up, Suge remarked, without implying that they were cowards. He was trying to find a common code. If you speak up, you run the danger of becoming the next. In this type of omeretta, mutual vulnerability serves as protection rather than allegiance. Everyone is aware that they all have something in the vault. If Gene Deal and Suge are correct about the recordings, then more than just people are implicated on the tapes. They maintain a whole economy of quiet. Now, Diddy himself is not the source of the anxiety. It has to do with what those archives stand for. Every artist who might be included in a tape has a producer who shot it, a management team who reserved the space, and a lawyer who drafted the NDA. The web of intrigue is so intricate that anyone trying to break it would risk damaging their own reputation. The end effect is a deadlock and a culture of silence where everyone waits in the hopes that their names won't be linked to the next leak.
Here's the price. And that they're just selling to the individuals that are in those. This is what I heard. They're selling those videos. So if you're Tommy X, and Tommy X is a big, big movie star, and he was at some of the Diddy parties. He was in one of those bedrooms with 3 other men, and he's happily married to a woman, and blah. Tommy doesn't want that video to come out. He does not want it to come out.
We must take into account the idea that Diddy's power was merely the tip of a bigger structure created by promoters, labels, and financiers who knew how to make money off of control. Under such circumstances, Snoop's function appears to be more strategic than submissive. He remains valuable by remaining visible. He is protected by his silence. The same reasoning might hold for dozens of other people, ranging from chart-topping artists to moguls, who all take part in an unwritten agreement that guarantees their survival by remaining silent. Who can afford to appear innocent the longest is more important than who is guilty.
The interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So, do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Of course not.
And that brings up the most sinister query of all. What if the quiet is due to calculation rather than fear? What if everyone is anxiously awaiting the first person to be revealed while knowing the tapes are authentic? That would imply that neither Diddy's empire nor Snoop's cooperation is the subject of this tale. It concerns a whole sector of the economy that is based on secrets so intricately woven together that removing one could cause the entire thing to fall apart. The day that stillness is finally broken, it won't simply put a career on hold. It might put an end to the delusion of power that the music industry has been trying to sell us for many years. Gene Deal's evidence, Suge Knight's charges, and Kef D's disclosures all allude to the same covert network. The more we piece together, the more it seems like a decades-long hierarchy of silence. Diddy is clutching files at the top. The image surrounding them is maintained by Snoop in the middle, and a generation of artists who are too shy to talk because they fear that everything they say could be captured on camera. From this perspective, Diddy's demise does not signal the end of a period. It signifies the unraveling of a storyline that has been in place since the 1990s. This is the last twist, though, that we cannot overlook. We're talking about more than simply one artist defending another if those tapes are authentic and Snoop is the face that sustains the brand. We are discussing a system that uses fear to control endorsements, careers, and even cultural nostalgia. The entire history of West Coast music could be altered by the next disclosure or leak. We must then inquire as to how many other celebrities are still acting out someone else's story, if Diddy's empire was founded on blackmail and Snoop is his most well-known puppet. And will the audience be prepared to see what was always real when the curtain finally comes down? We will continue to observe, listen, and ask the questions that no one else will. See you at the following one.